Hi and welcome to the Book Lab. It's sometimes hard to get a good overview of upcoming non-fiction releases when you search the web. If there's so many different publishers, there's so many different sources, and there's so many different genres, right? So this is a new segment where I present the upcoming books in August that I think fit well with the interests of the people who follow my channel. We look at books on psychology, philosophy, human nature, and human potential. So basically interesting books in the non-fiction genre. And today I'm going to present, I think it's 4 or 5 books that I felt, this could be some juicy reads in the coming month. First out we have The Confidence Map from Penguin Random House. Charting a Path from Chaos to Clarity. This is one of those books that goes into the psychology of decision making. And I know I posted a question on Twitter where I asked people to recommend them books, and one of the most popular questions was like, okay, give me a book on how to make better decisions. So I wanted to bring this one up. About The Confidence Map, a groundbreaking framework for making better decisions by understanding and mastering confidence. What does our desire for certainty and control have to do with our decision making? According to behavioral economics pioneer Peter Atwater, the answer is simple: everything. In The Confidence Map, Atwater explores the hidden role of confidence in the choices we make and why events described as being unprecedented are often entirely predictable if we know what to look for. I'm in the market for a book like this, so this one immediately stood out to me. Being able to make decisions quickly and understand like the cognitive biases that influence our decision making is just a crucial skill. So I just wanted to bring this book up. And then we have another book, What Doesn't Kill Us Makes Us. This one is out on August 1st. It's by Mike Mariani. This is a book about people that have survived traumatic events and tragedies and how they've changed their lives after that. And I think that's a topic that is really interesting to me. One book that comes to mind when I hear this is The Top 5 Regrets of the Dying by Bronnie Ware, which is a really good book. It talks about people on their deathbeds and their most common regrets. I think it's an interesting source for just evaluating your own priorities, to hear people who've gone through trauma, who are at the brink of death, who has been in tragic events, and how they change their lives after it. Because it's often a wake-up call, right? Being about to die is maybe not a wake-up call, it's more of a reflective moment, but you see what I mean. When his life was transformed by the onset of chronic illness, Mariani turned inward, changing his bustling, exuberant lifestyle into something more contemplative and deliberate. In this ambitious work of narrative reporting, he uses his own experience, as well as lessons from psychology, literature, mythology, and religion, to tell the stories of people living what he describes as afterlives. His subject's harrowing episodes ranges from paralyzing car crash to personality-altering traumatic brain injury to accidental homicide that resulted in a sentence of life imprisonment. So the common thing between these people is that all of them came to a point where they had to fully reevaluate their lives, and that sounds like a pretty interesting read. And then we have another book from Simon & Schuster, Money, the Story of Humanity. It's released on August 29. It's a book by David McWilliams. In this groundbreaking book, renowned global economist David Macmillan unlocks the mysteries to the awesome power of money. What is it? How does it work? Why does it matter? I've been really interested in this topic recently. I read The Psychology of Money, that was probably a year ago, and now I'm reading The Wealth of Nations by Adam Smith, to get some of that from fundamental knowledge about how money and markets work, because sometimes it's quite hidden in modern life. And I notice it so much now when I have kids, when I try to explain what money is. It's very elusive because it's all digital, at least here in Sweden, and like the connections between providing value, what money is and what it isn't, it's kind of hard to explain, so it's really good to dive into the fundamentals. Money is an epic, breathlessly entertaining journey across the world through the present and past, from the birthplace of money in ancient Babylon to the beginning of trade along the Silk Road of China. From Marrakesh markets to Wall Street and the dawn of cryptocurrency. The story of money is the story of Earth's most inventive, destructive and dangerous animal, Homo sapiens. To me this sounds like I want to read this. And lastly we have Saving Freud. I wanted to end on something a bit lighter, and this sounds just like a really interesting story that I really haven't heard about. Saving Freud is about the people who tried to rescue him from Austria once the Nazis got there. Freud, he was of course one of the most brilliant people. He really understood human psychology, but he didn't really grasp the danger he was in when the Germans came to Austria. And this is the story about how some of his closest friends helped him escape to London, and it's supposed to be something really riveting, a story that reads like fiction. It sounded just very entertaining. Dramatic true story about Sigmund Freud's last-minute escape to London following the German annexation of Austria and a group of friends who made it possible. There is a quote here from Rachel Newcomb, the Washington Post. Quote, Nagorsky tells a riveting new story, one that shows just how narrow Freud's escape from the Nazis' genocide was. The narrative pace and Nagory's fluid writing gave this book the character of an adventure story. So that sounds like a really good late summer read. And on that note, that was the list. I would love to hear what you think about this format and how I can improve it. Of course, now I'm sitting in my car, which is not ideal. I'm on vacation and I was supposed to record this in a nice nature environment, but it was raining so much and I couldn't find any good place to record. So I recorded in my car, so it can only get better from here. But let me know what books you are looking forward to the coming months. That would be super good, because that will help me see if I might want to report on them as well. Apart from newer books, I've also read and reviewed a few new good ones that I want to mention. If you felt like none of these were really my style, but I still want to read something, I've read recently The Rational Optimist, which was a great book, a very positive outlook on human progress, which was something that I felt like I needed, because there's been a lot of depressing events recently, from war to just the heat waves. We have had a lot of gang shootings here in Stockholm, so it's easy to get brought down by all these events. So it's good to read a book that actually tells a more nuanced story about human progression and the amazing things that we actually achieved over the last couple of 100 years, and that things are actually looking pretty good, even though we have big challenges ahead of us. So Rational Optimist is a great one. I also put up a book review of Catcher in the Rye, which is a classic about Holden Caulfield, I think his name is. This is a book for a younger audience about this alienated teen that just feel like life sucks sometimes because the world is full of hypocrites. It's a classic book, it's a quick read, and that might be something that you want to look into. If you enjoy this content, make sure to subscribe and like. I will put out these videos every month, and next month will be spectacular. There's some really good books coming out in September. The summer is usually a little bit slow, but I mean, it's going to pick up really fast, so make sure not to miss that video next week. Out of these books, I would say the money book is the one I will pick up. Let me know which one that resonated the most with you in the comments, because I would love to know that, and maybe I can cover that book some more in the future. I'm back next week, hopefully, with more book reviews and more book content. Have a good one. Enjoy your reading.